Okay, so picture this. You're driving, minding your own business, and bam, you get T-boned. A side airbag needs to explode out of your seat to save you. But wait, there's a problem. That fancy leather or tough fabric seat is in the way. So how does the airbag get out? Well, the answer is one of the most brilliant and kind of backward pieces of safety engineering in your entire car. 30 to 50 milliseconds. That's it. That is the entire amount of time a side airbag has to deploy and save your life. To give you some perspective, that is literally 10 times faster than the blink of an eye. In that tiny sliver of time, there is zero room for error. Absolutely none. And that's the fundamental problem, right? The very thing you want in a car seat, strong, durable material that lasts for years, suddenly becomes this dangerous wall. If that seam is too tough, the airbag is trapped. It's useless. So what's an engineer to do? This is the paradox they have to solve. To keep you safe, they have to build something that's designed to fail. They have to engineer a point of weakness right into your super tough car seat. It sounds completely insane, but your life literally depends on it. They call it a weakening seam or a tear seam, but my favorite description is this one, a preset wound. I mean, how perfect is that? It's basically an invisible zipper, engineered to be tough enough for you to slide in and out of the car 1,000 times, but the moment that airbag inflates, it rips open along a perfectly straight line. You know, you actually see this idea all over the place and probably never think about it. It's the little dotted line on a postage stamp, that tear strip on a cardboard box, or the notch on a bag of chips. All of those are designed points of failure. The seam in your car seat is just a way more critical version of the exact same concept. So how do they actually make it? How do you engineer something to be rock solid for everyday life, but fragile as glass in a crash? Let's get into how they pull off this magic trick. So there are a few main ways to do this. The most common method is using a special, weaker thread with a really specific stitch pattern. It's a proven technology and it's cheap, but man, is it sensitive. The tiniest mistake in the factory can mess it all up. Then you've got laser scoring. A laser literally etches a super thin line on the inside of the seat fabric. It's incredibly consistent, but the machines cost a fortune. And finally, there's perforation, which is just what it sounds like. They punch a line of tiny holes. It creates a perfect tear path, but you can sometimes see it, and some people worry if it'll hold up over time. But it's not just about picking a method. The amount of precision that goes into this is it's mind-blowing. Every tiny little detail has to be perfect. Okay, get a load of this. First, they have to use a special blunt needle, like a ballpoint pen. You know why? Because a sharp needle would actually slice the fabric's fibers, making it weak over time. A blunt one just pushes them aside. Then, the distance between stitches is controlled to within 0.2 of a millimeter. The tension is reduced. Every single stitch is monitored by sensors. And after all that, the final seat cover gets torture tested from 40 below zero all the way up to 85 degrees Celsius, just to make sure it rips perfectly, every single time. Now, you'd think making something weaker would be cheaper, right? Nope, you'd be dead wrong. The real cost here isn't the thread. It's the insane level of quality control, the endless testing, and having to throw out an entire seat cover if even one stitch is off. Just one validation program for this one little seam can cost a luxury car maker up to 800,000 yuan. That's insane. So what happens when a company cuts corners on that precision? What happens in the real world? Well, there's a case from 2018 that shows exactly why these details are, quite literally, a matter of life and death. Just imagine, a car company makes a couple of tiny changes that seem totally fine. The new part looks the same, it feels the same, but in that split second, 30-millisecond window of a crash, the result is a total disaster. Here's how it went down. A supplier switched the seat material without updating the engineering specs. Then, some well-meaning worker on the factory floor decided to change the stitch length to make the seam look a little bit tighter, a little more premium. The result? That seam was now way too strong. In crash tests, the airbags couldn't break through. Instead, they squeezed out in this useless, constricted shape that was described as a sausage. A sausage? That's not going to save anyone. The direct cost to recall 12,000 vehicles was 38 million yuan. And that number doesn't even begin to cover the damage to the company's reputation or, the fact that people could have died, all because of a few millimeters and a material that wasn't properly tested. And all this engineering, all this precision, it all leads to the single most important warning I can give you as a car owner, because all of it can be made completely worthless by one very simple, very common mistake. Seriously, please listen up for this next part. If your car has side airbags, and almost every modern car does, this could be the most important safety tip you ever hear. Let that sink in for a second. Welding a steel plate over a fire exit. That's because a regular, off-the-shelf seat cover doesn't have this specially engineered breakaway seam. When you put one on, you're disabling your side airbag. You're putting an unbreakable wall in its way, making one of your car's key safety features totally useless. So look, if you absolutely have to use a seat cover to protect your seats, here are the rules. It must say airbag compatible on the box. It has to have its own special tear-away section that lines up with where your airbag is. And honestly, your best bet is to just stick to reputable brands that do their own testing. If you have any doubt at all, just don't use it. It's not worth it. Okay, let's bring it all home. We've gone from milliseconds to millions of dollars in recalls. So what are the key things you need to remember from all this? Here are the 3 big takeaways. Number 1, that seam is supposed to be weak. It's an incredible feature, not a flaw. Number 2, look on the side of your car seat. If you see that little airbag tag, you've got this system. And number 3, never, ever, ever throw generic seat cover over it. It's just about the most dangerous and easiest mistake you can make. So the next time you hop in your car, you're not even going to notice that little seam on the side of your seat. And you shouldn't. But just know that it's there, like a silent bodyguard, engineered with unbelievable precision, waiting to tear itself apart in the blink of an eye, all to keep you safe.